What is up? We have a battle between Simp4Sylvain, the leader of Team Phantom, and Cramgoose, the leader of the Rat Pack. Looking at the battle, what do you think is going to be very important here, Seth? I think that it's mainly going to be speed control for Goose. Most of his Pokemon are slower than Simp's Pokemon, so getting Trick Room up seems to be really important. Also, he has a lot of Pokemon
hmm
that are weak to fighting, so that that ghost fighting immunity is going to be really important as well.
hmm Yeah, I think that definitely the biggest key factor here is how uh, Goose is going to get his Pokemon faster. Like, obviously, Melmetal can tank a number of hits, especially if it's running Assault Vest. But, like, Snorlax definitely goes down to something from Mienshao. Um, Shaman is not super bulky, especially not physically either for Latios or Darmg. So, I mean, Goose has a lot of power and a lot of, muscle to back up a lot of these Pokemon, but dang, if they're not moving first, I feel like a lot of the time he's a bit on the back foot. So we've got a Tailwind angle that he could go with Shaman if he thinks that that's going to catch Sylvain off guard. Because what I'm curious about is if Sylvain is running Tailwind on Whimsicott, right? Because we know that Dusclops is definitely going to be running Trick Room.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Latios and Keldeo, well, not Keldeo, but Latios anyways, outspeeds everything on Simp's team aside from Regieleki and Whimsicott. So if he doesn't get the Trick Room up, Latios can be faster. Um,
hmm
I'm wondering.
And
So I know at one point in VGC, I had a Whimsicott set that had Tailwind and Trick Room. Whimsicott could kind of counter Trick Room by setting Trick Room itself on the turn that it gets set up. So Whimsicott could be very, very important for speed control in this match.
hmm Now, the whole all that aside, we do have a Fire Terra type on Whimsicott, so if he wants to expend that Terra for Whimsicott to live the Double Iron Bash, it looks like he's probably calced it to where he can live at least one. Um, but that does expend Terra on Whimsicott, and a lot of his Pokemon are pretty susceptible to a lot of the stuff on Goose's side. So I am really curious. Last thing I'll say, this is James's first week with Regieleki, which is a big new component in his squad. He definitely had a lot of very mid-speed Pokemon around the Tailwind, but now he has kind of a free range movement option with that Regieleki. He can do whatever he kind of wants, especially or as long as he's not in Trick Room. And we only have one Ground Terra on Goose's side on that Darmg. So I think that's probably going to be a factor as well, and I think it might be something that James is thinking about here in the intro screen.
Yeah, if Goose ends up not going with a Trick Room to start, something like an Electro Web can really swing the speed tie um, in Simp's favor there.
I'm gonna let them know they can go for it. Um, you have to, we've got two physical attackers or three physical attackers against a Stoutland here too. So we have to think that one of them is probably running Clear Amulet, which might be something against Regieleki. So we start off with Shaman and Darmg from Goose versus Sylvain's Victini and Mienshao.
So interestingly, Victini is the same base speed as Shaman, and I think Mienshao outspeeds a little bit, but I do assume that the Darmanitan will be scarfed, so this will be an interesting
Well,
turn where this fake out goes.
Shaman Skyform is faster than both of these Pokemon. I think it's base 127.
Oh yeah, you're right, you're right. I forgot that it's not a base 100.
hmm Yeah, it gets that nice little boost to its stats and to make it a little bit more specified in kind of what its kit can do. But I definitely anticipate a fake out here. Um, Goose might be in a rough spot if that Darm is scarfed, if it's choiced into Guerrilla Tactics. So you have to think that Simp probably feels pretty free to click fake out over in that direction.
The only issue I see is I think if so say that Simp fake outs the Darmanitan and then tries to, V create the Darmanitan. I think that means that it's a pretty free setup for Tailwind on Shaman.
hmm
And
Also very
uh,
true.
I I would be a little worried to fake out Shaman just due to the cloak.
Oh, okay, I have to give some background right now. I was beating Goose up before this, and I did that exact play. where Mienshao comes out, and then you bring Whimsicott in, expecting the double protect. And so there we see the reveal that Darm G is Zen mode, and is not Guerrilla Tactics. So he's not choiced in. He's got protect, and
Yep, and that's
he's looking a little
interesting.
bit foolish now.
There are some players who, basically every time that they're presented with fake out, they go for that double protect.
Oh, and he reads it perfectly. Oh, fantastic! Wow.
No sash on the Whimsicott is kind of rough there,
Yeah.
and then the sash keeping Shaman Sky alive. I expect there's going to be a protector switch on Shaman here to avoid the fake out. I wonder if Simp reads that and just goes for a close combat into that Snorlax slot.
I think there's definitely a lot of mind games at play here. These are both very, very talented players. I could see a reverse psychology where Shaman sets up a Tailwind, but that V create set is really interesting and does make me think that Victini might be running
Oh, there is the call, but
Brick
the
Room.
Terra Fairy.
A Bolt Strike?
Yeah, I guess
Curse.
I guess he kind of split it up to sort of hedge his bets there on the play. I feel like Goose is pretty far ahead at the moment.
We have a Sash, and we have a 60% chance to flinch. Does not come through. The knockoff kills, and then a Bolt Strike only does 28% here. And Oko's Victini with return on Snorlax. That Snorlax is looking very scary all of a sudden.
And now this is kind of what we mentioned before. Outside of Regieleki and Whimsicott, this Latios outspeeds everything on Simp's team. So Goose is navigated to a spot where I don't think that Landorus can clutch it up against the Darmanitan and the Latios here.
Do we have a Terra yet? No, I don't think so from Simp. So that is a Terra flying on Landorus. So that's definitely not going to help against. We have a Luster Purge.
It is unfortunate the Terra flying doesn't remove the ice weakness. So.
Yep, that's a pretty decisive Goose victory right there. They were playing very quick too.
Yeah, it almost seems like this lead was in anticipation of a Trick Room start from Goose, and the kind of faster half really seemed to catch Simp off guard. Now the interesting thing is, I wonder if, because he's up a game, if Goose pivots into a Trick Room strategy for game 2 to sort of keep Simp on his toes, or if he just goes back to the well that's working.
I think I completely agree with you that Simp was definitely a little bit more prepared for the Dusclops and Melmetal lead. However, I think that Goose definitely had to do some real maneuvering to escape from that really tough situation that Simp put him in from the very beginning. And if he had gotten that call wrong on the Encore, and he had switched out the wrong Pokemon, I think we could have seen a very different outcome from that first game.
Yeah, I think that turn was the pivotal turn of the game. If that Encore was right, like you just said, I think Simp is so far ahead. Pressing Protect in front of a Whimsicott is always a little tough.
It's very dicey, I know. Honestly, I think that's really good awareness from Sylvain and not trying to fake out that Darmanitan. Feels very free to want to do that. But I think he was probably feeling safe to do so. Because now we've exchanged the information that Shaman is sashed and Mienshao is also sashed. Which does make me a little curious as to what the Whimsicott item is.
Yeah, I'm curious if maybe in order to live a double Iron Bash, if Whimsicott had to run some sort of berry.
I could see like a Citrus Berry if this is a more defensive Whimsicott set. Didn't seem like it because it got eviscerated by that Air Slash, but maybe it's all physical defense. And we also see that he hasn't brought Stoutland and he didn't bring Regieleki last time. So I do wonder if one of those two might be a little bit more helpful. One of the things that did suck was that Shaman outsped everything without the Whimsicott Tailwind up. So Regieleki can probably help with that. Maybe he's running a Thunder Wave to paralyze Shaman or Latios to kind of help out the squad.
Now that you mentioned that, did the I'm curious if the Shaman would outspeed the Whimsicott if the Whimsicott was going for an attacking move. because that can be a really important. If Whimsicott's max speed, it'll outspeed the Shaman, I believe, and
not if Shaman is max speed, I don't think. Which, knowing Goose, it probably is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shaman's Sky speed stat is crazy high.
It's a really good Pokemon. I think that it's probably one of the most malleable sort of 100/100 Pokemon. Regular Shaman sucks, and there's not really, I feel like, a reason you should ever run it. But having the capability of switching between the two of them, and Sky Shaman just being so fast and so strong with such great coverage, you know, everybody knows I'm a simp for Arboliva, and you've got it on your team too. I think what works so well about that Pokemon is it's got the grass, the fairy, and the earth power coverage, which those three together are very, very difficult to maneuver around. Okay.
So this time we do see the Regieleki to trying to come slow things down for to slow things down for Goose, so that Simp can actually start to outspeed some of these Pokemon.
Now, this setup right here, we've got Victini, we've got Regieleki on Sylvain's side, seems ripe, for a Terra Ground. Definitely, Sylvain saw that coming, clicks the Volt Switch. Now, if a Protect had come out there, that would have been pretty tough, but Tailwind, Earthquake probably eviscerates both of these guys. Oh no, it's a very defensive. Oh, and it's a weakness policy set.
That's what I was just about to say. Is this Earthquake? It seems like a really tough decision for Simp to decide what to throw into the Earthquake there. And now with Tailwind up, something else is going to have to get hit by something. And I don't think either of these Pokemon are surviving a hit from either of Goose's Pokemon.
Yeah, you have to click Fake Out into that Darmanitan Galar, because if he clicks Earthquake here, or if he's got Wide Guard, I suppose that could be really good too. But
Wide Guard might be the best play. I think if he clicks Fake Out into the Darmanitan, then Latios just gets to take out the Victini for free.
Oh, so Goose reads that Mienshao's not clicking that move. Doesn't waste a turn going for Protect right there, which is puts him in a pretty advantageous position. I mean, Sylvain is hard pressed to stall out this Tailwind here. With Flying, we do have a Protect. Oh, and he fakes out into it. Kills the Mienshao. Oh, and he tries to click the Earth Power there.
Doubled into the Darmanitan.
That's tough. All right, we have an instant Protect from Landorus and a double Protect. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is just gonna waste the last turn of Tailwind, but the problem is Latios just outspeeds both of these Pokemon naturally. So even without Tailwinds, something's going down.
We do have a GG. That is, in fact, GG. All right. Those were quick games.
Yeah, it seemed pretty one-sided. It seemed like Goose brought a team that was not what Simp prepped for. And I think that makes sense. If you look at Goose's team and the speeds, how they line up, I think you would expect him to bring something like Trick Room here. So you would prepare for that in the more like fast-paced strategy, not even bringing the Melmetal or the Dusclops in either game. It seemed to have caught Simp off guard.
The no Melmetal team gambit worked.
Okay, listen, James, I want to commend you, okay? I was doing the exact same thing to Goose directly before the game with the threatening the Fake Out into trying to get him to double Protect.
And I felt really good into game one, and then I'm like, he either double switches or he single switches, and it was a gamble on which one he did, and I gambled wrong.
I think that if you had guessed correctly right there, you were in such an advantageous position.
Yeah. And then game two, not bringing the Whimsicott game two royally screwed me over. I thought that I could get one up on him, but I guess I messed up on the calc there, so.
So what was the calc that you messed up on? What did you expect to happen in the beginning of game two there?
Let's see.
Were you expecting the Volt switch to one-shot the Shaman?
Yeah. No. I should have Terra Ice there for one shot, but I'm assuming it was a focus sash considering that he was
Yeah, it was from the first game. We saw that.
I also thought he made double protect again.
Yeah.
It's so funny because in all of my practice matches, I did not practice against a Darmanitan.
Well, and that was one of the things that Goose changed kind of last minute was maybe I bring Darmanitan. It's just so good with the Terra ground.
He was running 36 special defense EV careful nature. Because that way, guaranteed Landorus couldn't kill him in one hit.
That is interesting. Yeah, no, I was really proud of my first play in game one with the double protect instant switch into the Whimsicott. This lead was designed so that I could go through and mess up Dusclops in some sort of way. And not seeing Dusclops at all made me very, very sad. And then trying to adjust for it game two, I just did not adjust well.
It's tough, man. I think that you definitely, the Melmetal and the Dusclops are just so imposing. They're such a scary duo. And then you get hit with a Tailwind, and when you don't have one of your own, trying to stall it out with, I feel like you do kind of tend to have a lot of squishy guys on your team. Trying to stall 4 turns of a Tailwind out with a team of guys who definitely go down to most of the hits from Goose's really offensive team. That's just really tough all around.
Yeah, trying to burn any of those turns, trying to call switches and different things with good call on game 2 that I wasn't going to sit there and fake out because I was hard going to try to double switch to have a few more turns of that Tailwind burnout, but the Earthquake there one-shotting the Reggie like he just...
I felt like the only way I lost in game 2 is if I let my foot off the gas. So I figured that if you fake out, I'm at least gonna Luster Purge Manchow, and I can figure it out from there. Because I don't think you had anything on your team that could one-shot Darm or Latios without it being super effective damage.
No. Yeah, no, in prep it wasn't going well. I made some last minute changes. I wish I didn't. I did have Clefable on the team. I think that having Clefable, I would have brought that rather than Stoutland. I would have been a little bit better because I did practice a lead with it. But, you win some, you lose some. And this season, I've just been losing some.
Hey, you've won 2 as well.
I've won 2.
2 and 3 is not. 2 and 3 is not a terrible start to the season to be sure. I know that you and your glory have not had to deal with it very much, but listen, for us little people who really went through it for a while, man, 2 and 3 is a good start, man.
Look, losing in the early season's fine as long as you peak at the end of the season. What matters is how you finish, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I want to tell a story about something that I fixed 5 minutes before our game. Basically, I was running Terra Ghost on Snorlax because it's immune to fighting moves, and then against Jack, I went to Curse and I lost 50% of my health and put a Curse on Mienshao, and that sucked.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
I messaged a screenshot of Snorlax cursing Mienshao, and it just said, "I'm gonna lose."
I really wish you didn't fix that because I would have loved to have that on the marquee match.
Were you Cloak on the Latios?
Oh no, it sold you.
Oh man, I was like, because I didn't see a Terra Ghost, I'm like, oh, he's probably Covert Cloak, so there's no point faking out into that thing, and it's just going to one-shot the Mienshao right back. And then you didn't protect it, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I needed Soldew to hit some pretty key one-shots on Landorus and Stoutland. So, or key 2 shots, I mean, I think I said 1 shot.
Yeah.
It's tough getting Goose to run anything other than Soldew. So
Soldew is such a good item.
On Latios especially.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
only works on Latios and Latios.
It's not very
Well,
good
I'm
on very many other Pokemon.
Okay, I was specifically talking about Latias. It's okay.
I wonder
Freaking
if
come for me after.
can we get a list
Stop.
for all the Pokemon that Light Ball is good on as well?
Yeah, it's pretty good on Pikachu.
Listen.
Can you fuck off?
I do have a
I'm
question
just
for
confused
Goose.
why you don't run
Yeah.
Soldew on Melmetal.
So, in your preparation for this match, was you putting Darmanitan on the chopping block Monday part of the preparation for this match?
No, here's part of the preparation for this match. Mickey, Chris were watching me have some sort of psychosis breakdown against Jack and Scrims as Stoutland pivoted in and out and intimidated me over and over and over again, and I lost every Scrim. And then I thought, whatever, man, I'm just bringing Darmanitan because I can't do this anymore. And that was it.
Yeah, when Jack mentioned that Goose has a lot of physical attackers, and that Stoutland's there. I assume something happened in Scrims really bad with Stoutland for that to be the first thing he mentions looking at team preview.
Oh, it was so bad. He was running Will-O-Wisp Victini, and then he'd burn something and then just start pivoting in Stoutland over and over again. That was also why Snorlax got cursed, because I was tired of having charmed, burned, intimidated Snorlax last person on the field as Jack just earth-powered me over and over again. It was terrible.
Yeah, Stoutland was definitely there. It was in the back of my mind. I kind of regret because I had a different lead with Clefable, but it didn't feel good into the Melmetal. It did like 5% every time I tried to hit into the Melmetal. I'm assuming Melmetal's
Yeah.
like Clear Amulet or Assault Vest, one of the two. And so since I'm bringing Intimidate Mon, I figured.
He was Clear Amulet.
Yeah.
I had him as Assault Vest for a long time, though. But Stoutland
Yeah.
pivoting was so strong.
Honestly, James, I think that was a good call on your part because, obviously something's going to happen to Clear Amulet. And you didn't expect it to be the thing that he just never brought,
Yeah.
So
No,
I think that.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, nope. Probably Regieleki wasn't the call game two. I thought about leading Mian Shao with Whimsicott, with Victini and Landorus in the back. That lead just doesn't have the same damage output, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to do a lot of maneuvering and hoping that he protects so you can slap Encore. It was definitely yeah. I think that it definitely came down to just the fact that Tailwind didn't get to go up on your side in game 2. I think that it just put you a little bit on the back foot. But listen, I want to hear your thoughts about Regieleki because we have been absolutely shimoning on that guy in the Rat Pack. None of us like him very much, just because of kind of what you saw here. That if there's a Terra Ground on something, it just automatically becomes so much harder for him.
I'm a Regieleki defender. The rest of the people on my team hate him.
You didn't get to see it. I wanted to bring it, but you didn't get to see it. I was actually triple axle on the Mian Shao to get around Focus Sash on the Shaman. In case I got to set up Tailwind, and then go through, and that's why I said I should have brought that second. So if something wanted to tear a ground in front of me, then hats off to them. So I wasn't too worried about that. And then of course being Terra Ice, Terra Blast went through. Especially seeing Melmetal being Terra Flying, I was very happy. And this set ended up being Specs. So I wasn't too worried about it.
I thought Volt Switch did an extreme amount of damage, but it makes sense that you respect.
Yeah, it was Specs, and I think I housed it so that he ended up living some. Yeah, he could live in Earth Power from the Shaman itself. I wasn't expecting Earthquake from Darmanitan, and I would have been faster to switch on out. But
Right.
Darmanitan just threw a wrench into everything. Why'd you put him on the chopping block? You should have got rid of him.
Well, I put him on the chopping block, and the only person that's asked me about him is Mickey. So, and I, so I think no wait, Trashmoth offered Wheezing for him. So I'm getting some pretty good offers out here.
I thought Trashmoth offered you Hydreigon.
Oh yeah. He offered Hydreigon and then Wheezing. But my whole team is already weak to fairy moves.
Yeah, I mean, what's another 4 times weakness, you know?
Give him, yeah. I could lead Scrafty and Hydreigon and then die to 1 Dazzling Gleam. It'll be like that time someone accidentally brought level 100 Regieleki and killed both leads with Electro Web.
I love that because in the like comments chat, people were like, "Man, Transistor does so much damage. It's unreal."
It did 92% to a Dynamax Pokemon, and it was spread. We were like, good lord. Oh. All right. Any final comments from commentators or from players?
I finally got my new avatar to work that I've been trying to set up since week 2. Thoughts from the commentators?
It looks great.
Both
Thank you.
of these are really good. I looked at
Mine
these too.
Caitlyn each time, so
I don't think your avatar looks like a rat.
There are no rat people as avatars on Showdown. I could get that like one
Change
Pokemaniac
that,
that's
please.
dressed up. But
You could be youngster Joey with his Rattata, honestly.
dude, that would be crazy. I'm never gonna do that. But it is a suggestion.
Right.
Well, good games, guys. I'm sure we'll see you guys in future marquees, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.